Hi everyone, it's Dr. Katina. We're on results and significance 2. We're almost there. We just got to hang on a little bit longer. So let's get to it. Thank you. Hi everyone, as I said, this tutorial is about the results and significance 2 tab. This is where, again, we're reporting the results. If your article is reporting it in a fashion or way that doesn't match sort of what we've outlined here, please use or feel free to use these white spaces. And if you want to report some of the results that you think are relevant for the functional outcomes, again, those are the ones that we are interested in. There's lots of stuff about oxygen and heart rate and peak wattage, but those aren't functional. So the 6-minute walk test, again, is what I'm looking at and pulling out from this article that I'm using. But again, feel free to use these white spaces to explain it how you feel like would be the most helpful if the preset options here aren't working for you. So it's not a problem. So, and I apologize, this is squished together. It's because I'm splitting my screen, so I apologize for that. This first question is looking at the functional outcome measures results for the intervention group. If you had more than one functional outcome, say there was one intervention group and you had more than one functional outcome measure, just add another after this and then pick whatever the next one is, and then you can add. If you had more than one group that was an intervention group, you can do them in a row. Say it was 6-minute walk test and then the balance and then a fatigue scale or something like that. And then there was another group, I would just do it again and say it was group 2, then just do 6-minute walk, balance test, whichever, and then I'll say it was a third group, just do it like that again, and then I would just explain it right here, like the first group is the first group, second is second group, etc. There are also options for control group. Mine had, the one intervention group and then the control group. So right here, which outcome measure? It was the 6-minute walk test. So was there a pre-intervention outcome? So I went into the baseline demographics here where they do have the mean for the usual care group and the prehab group in meters. So I put that number here. I actually have to correct that. It's not 698, it's 398. The outcome post-intervention, they don't just automatically tell, like this is it and this is a mean. They don't give a mean distance. They give a median in their results reporting, but they don't give a mean. But they do report that down here that it increased by 15% in the intervention group. And they said it went down in the usual care group, but they don't say what the mean went, what percentage the mean decreased. So we know how much the intervention group, what percent it increased. I just did 15% of this, and according to my findings, it was 59.7. And so then I just added that to that and then reported the mean difference there. Then what I did was I just explained down here that that's what I did above. There is no p-value, or there's a standard deviation for the baseline, but not for these other findings. But I feel like that's valuable information to have. You can calculate effect size with that. Actually, what I could do is, actually, no, I'll just leave it. I was going to say I could put in here, I could put in the standard deviation at baseline for the prehab group was 167. We could say also that baseline, because we want to get between group differences for like effect size too, we can get that. And again, if you don't have time or you don't want to go into this much detail, that's fine. If it's easy to find in your paper, that's great. If it's not, that's okay too. Whatever you can do. I'm writing this down because this is helpful information to calculate effect size. For the next one, it's if you have a control group. So again, here, if you had another functional outcome and you were able to complete any of this information for that functional outcome, I would just hit add and do another one. Then if there's a control group, which there was in mine, the baseline they give to me here, I could put that standard deviation that I wrote up here, I could put that here. We don't have a mean post. We don't have that. So we could put that here. I did go into further information here. So these are how they reported their results. They reported medians and they reported the changes in the medians and then if it was statistically significant or not. You can copy and paste this. We're only interested in the functional outcome. None of these other outcomes are. I just wrote right here that the usual care group decreased in their delta, this of a change, the difference in their 6-minute walk test, -2 and gave the interquartile range. And then I said the prehab group increased by this result right here, 20% and with a 95% confidence interval, 14 to 26. So yeah, that's that right there. And actually, what I should do is I should put this result, so I should say prehab group delta 66 meters and then 8 to 125, and that's an interquartile range. And then you want to say P is less than, because that's very significant. But again, the fact that the change in the intervention group ended up being 59 meters, if I'm reading this correctly, that's a clinically significant change. That means that they are seeing improvements clinically. It's not just statistically, that's a clinical improvement. I wrote this down here, and you can write it that way too. Or if you follow down, it does have a bunch of different options for how if your results are presented in a certain way. I was really trying to cover them all here. But if you go down, that one's not how mine are presented. There's always, options to add information. So here's how mine were reported. I chose, this was the functional outcome. Mine does a percent median, is how my most important outcome was reported. I gave some of this extra stuff in that other paragraph. It was a 6-minute walk test. It had 20% median, 95%, so CI is confidence interval, and it says it was from 14 to 26. Then I said P less than 0.001. And then if there was another outcome that's reported in the same way, you can just hit add. And that's all that I have for this particular article. So I'm just going to hit save. If you have any questions about any of this, or if you need an extra, blank paragraph in your form to be able to add in other information that you feel like you can't put into this cookie cutter way of doing it, all you have to do is email me and I can easily add in a blank space for you. It's very easy. So please email me if you need to. Okay. I don't know why that says that. Okay, I'm going to save and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.